Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Happy Monday night, everyone. A2D Radio Sports Hounds are live in the Real Talk Studios, Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I'm Rob Brakeman. He's Brad Ryer. Frank Vesby on the ones and twos. As always, the Sports Hounds brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Burlington, New Jersey, Princeton, New Jersey. No appointment necessary, Dr. Paul Vidal. Find out more about his service at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Got a Monday Night Football preview. We got Jim Jackson, radio voice of the Philadelphia Phillies, TV man for the Flyers, talk some hockey, some baseball, some Philadelphia sports in general. It's a great get there by Brad. We got Monday Night Football. We had a big one in the NFC
Huge.
West, Brad.
Huge,
as some would say, Brad. Huge. But we got the Niners undefeated. 2-loss Seattle Seahawks team. George Kittle not playing tonight for the San Francisco 49ers.
That's a big loss.
That's a big loss. He's their best offensive player. It's a good thing they traded for Emmanuel Sanders because they would be pretty lost offensively without him.
Yeah, well, they do like to spread the ball around, though.
They do.
That's
Jimmy
the one
Garoppolo only has 13 touchdowns. They're kind of a run-the-ball defense kind of a game. Despite Lamar Jackson's performance yesterday and his performance throughout the season, I still maintain that Russell Wilson is still the MVP of the league until proven
thing. Right now, he most certainly is.
Proven otherwise. Josh Gordon is active tonight. We got a 6.5-point spread. That brings us to our poll question of the night, brought to you by ATS Sports Picks, website atsportspicks.com. Use the promo code A2D to get 20% off their gambling advice packages. But, Brad, we got a 6.5-point spread tonight.
Seattle's getting
6.5 points.
I'm taking the 6.5.
I'm taking. I mean, you're
going
to give me Russell Wilson and a touchdown. I mean, that just seems crazy to me.
Well, they are undefeated.
I get it.
Speaking of the 49ers, but
look, if they cover the line,
yeah, but that's
not going to surprise me. I just think with Josh Gordon,
Seattle's going to win the game. So I mean,
you have Josh Gordon, you have
Tyler
Lockett, and you have rookie from Ole Miss, DK Metcalf. I mean, I don't think Russell Wilson's ever had weapons like this.
He's got a nice ground game,
and he's got
too.
Chris Carson on the run game. Now their
Carson's
defense,
done an excellent
it's kind
job.
of like a paradigm shift in Seattle. Before, Seattle used to be Russell Wilson would make just enough plays, and the Legion of Boom would get them to the playoffs and win them championships. But their defense isn't very good.
It's a little shaky. I mean, they've only had 15 sacks as a team.
Jadeveon Clowney only had 2 sacks.
I mean, the leader, believe it or not, in sacks for this team is Michael Kendricks with 3.
Michael Kendrick,
Yeah,
former Philadelphia Eagles great.
I think you guys all know who he is, and he leads the team.
I'm
in
surprised
sacks.
he's been healthy enough to garner 3 sacks. I shouldn't say that. He was solid enough.
He was a pretty good
when he
player
was
for
healthy.
you guys. He was. But
he always had
Seattle,
that. He always had that
is,
Chip Kelly stench on him after he left. I think he was a Chip Kelly draft pick guy.
But
we digress. We don't need to talk about Chip Kelly.
Yeah. Seattle has been. Seattle is a really good football team. I mean, you're going to give them 6.5 points. I don't care where they're playing. I'm taking Seattle all day long with 6.5 points. I know the 49ers have played well, but you know what? This is a real big game for them. And their schedule gets a lot tougher now at this point of the season, as does Seattle. I mean, Seattle still got a date with the Eagles. They still have another game with the 49ers. I believe they have to play the Rams again.
I just had it up.
I
have the Niners one ready. The Niners schedule. Yes, the Niners are undefeated.
The Niners schedule is
they got Seattle
rough.
tonight. They still have to play the Cardinals again. They'll play Seahawks, Cardinals. Then November 24th, that's Week 12. They're home against the Packers. December 1st, that's Week 13. They're at the Ravens. And then December 14th, December 8th, they're at the Saints.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So I would assume that they're going to stay east.
That gauntlet is going to
I would assume they would stay east to cut down on their travel.
Yeah,
but I don't know how they're going to.
That gauntlet is going to be extremely difficult.
And then you have the Falcons, who won yesterday.
Well, the Falcons can
talk about all the upsets that happened yesterday later on in the show.
They obviously can bite you in the ass because they've beaten two very good football teams in the Eagles and the Saints.
Yeah, so, I mean, very good with the Eagles is a stretch. They're good. I don't know about very good.
I think the Eagles are going to be very, very tough to beat now with the schedule they've got left. I mean, if they can find a way to split with New England and Seattle with the next two games, Dallas' schedule is just ridiculously difficult, and the Eagles' schedule is ridiculously easy. I mean, you've got two games with the Giants, a game with the Redskins, a game with the Dolphins. My God, that's four easy wins. That's 4 easy wins for them. I mean,
need someone to make plays on the outside for the Eagles.
Yeah, but those as I said, those are 4 games they're going to win. Okay, and they've already got 5. So if they can if they can even go 1-2 with Dallas' schedule and go 10-6, Dallas is going to have their hands full. Actually, the Eagles have 4 tough games, right? They have Dallas at home.
3 tough games.
Well, they have Dallas at home, Seattle at home.
They're all at home.
Yeah, Seattle
and the Patriots at home.
The Patriots at home. Yeah, they have 3 tough games at home.
And then just back to the Niners real quick. 16 and 17, they'll be home against the Rams. Not easy. Good defense, not so good of an offense. And then at Seattle to round out the regular season. That's probably going to be
schedule.
So by no means, despite them being undefeated, by no means is this division locked in for them.
I mean, Seattle could end up going. San Francisco could end up going 10-6 with that schedule. That is a tough schedule.
And then Seattle has the 2 losses at home, which is rare. They lose to the Saints at home with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, and they lose to the Ravens, who just
Ravens are a very good team.
They're pounding everybody right now. Let me get the Seahawks schedule up here. They have some tough games as well because they have the Eagles. They have the Niners twice starting tonight. November 11th, San Francisco. They get the Vikings December 2nd. Cardinals December, that's their home games.
Well, we know Seattle plays the Eagles.
They play the Eagles. They play the Vikings for sure. They got to come east. So at San Francisco, at Philadelphia. So they're going to get a bye week before Philadelphia. So the Eagles play yet another team coming off a bye, which seems like every team they play is coming off a bye. So
that's not easy.
Then they get the Vikings at home, at the Rams, at the Panthers. Not easy games.
No, but they should beat the Panthers.
Week 16, they play the Cardinals. Cardinals not a good team, not a bad team either. They're not
No, you have to show. You better show up when you play the Cardinals.
Though. And then they close at San Francisco.
They got a rough schedule too.
Now, Brad,
I mean, listen, it's going to be tough. They're all these teams are going to have some big tests coming up. It's going to be fun. The game tonight's going to be interesting. I'll tell you what. Richard Sherman having to guard Tyler Lockett, that's going to be very interesting. And if Josh Gordon lines up on Richard Sherman's side now, do you think Richard Sherman is going to go whatever? Is going to follow Lockett all over the place? Is he going to sit on one side of the field?
The Niners are undefeated, but I can't say I've sat down and watched them for a full game yet. I'm not sure if they move Richard Sherman or they play they're stubborn and put Richard Sherman on one side of the field.
He may just be better on one side of the field, too.
True.
Some guys,
because that's what the Vikings did last night. And I never understood that. Maybe I'm an old school kind of guy.
But some guys are the guys that are right-handed are just better at guarding on the right side than the left side. And left-handed, same thing. It's for whatever reason, they're just a little bit more effective on one side of the field than the other ones.
See, this is why I liked Revis. That's why I like watching Revis, because
Well, it
Revis
didn't
would
matter.
just Revis would just say, okay, Julio Jones is your best receiver. I'm guarding Julio Jones
No matter what side of the field he's on.
wherever he goes.
Yeah, well,
Follow him to the
that's
sidelines while he's getting a drink of water, and Julio Jones wouldn't do anything, and the rest of the defense would just kind of fit in around that.
yeah.
I know
but that was
it's
Revis,
Darrell
though.
Revis, and he's probably one of the greatest cover corners
He's an all-time great.
of all time. But
Yeah.
I mean, we digress. I just don't understand that. Another thing I hate about the NFL these days is shotgun inside the 5-yard line. It drives me nuts when these teams, they get all the way down the field and they go into shotgun.
Why? I actually like the shotgun because you know what? If you're the quarterback,
No, power football. Power football. The Chargers did it on Thursday night. It drove me nuts. You have Melvin Gordon running up and down the field on the Raiders. You're throwing the ball around inside the 5-yard line out of shotgun.
It depends who your quarterback
Doug
is.
does it all the time. It drives me nuts.
Depends
It
who
drives
your-
me nuts.
Listen, if your quarterback is Lamar Jackson or
Well, Lamar Jackson, let's put him over the side because he's
okay,
just
or Deshaun Watson, some of these guys who can really run. Danny Jones, you put him in shotgun if the Giants had an offensive line. I mean, these guys are capable of running naked boots and scoring.
the Giants have. I know he. What do you have? 13 touches for 1 yard yesterday.
Oh, Barkley, yeah,
Kinda
that was
hurt.
a really bad game.
Came out that he was hurt a little
Yeah.
bit after the game, but don't you want to line Barkley up and just run him?
Not the way their offensive line is.
I understand that, but theoretically,
Yeah, theoretically, yes, but our offensive line is so bad we can't block anybody. We had a guy yesterday, Smith, okay, who has never played in his professional career
yeah, they put him
a
at
left tackle,
put him at
okay?
left tackle.
Yeah, he's
Hardest
never, as a matter of
position.
fact, even in practice, he's never even practiced as a left tackle. And our brilliant coach, Pat Shermer, decides when Solder gets hurt, this is who he's going to put at left tackle. I mean, are you kidding me?
I hear you. The Giants are a mess.
Just
I think
that-
they need a regime change, and
just-
they certainly,
yes.
if they're not going to fire Shermer, they got to get rid of their defense coordinator.
Yeah, he should be fired. He should be fired over.
I mean,
the
you have
bye.
first-round pick DeAndre Baker, who was a pretty highly regarded prospect out of the SEC.
He's getting roasted and toasted.
Claims that nobody's teaching him the plays and the schemes of the NFL.
Yeah. Well,
mean-
he needs to learn to turn around when the ball's in the air. I mean, that's fundamentals 101. But
All right, so Brad, the over/under is 47 tonight. Are you expecting a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game?
low scoring game. I think it's going to be.
Hey, you like that under?
I think it's going to be clear. I think it's going to be close, but I see like 20, 24-21, something like that. You know, maybe
barely under.
maybe 23-19, 23-17, something along those lines. It's going to be a real close game. Could be a field goal game. I still like.
I'm
like
having
Seattle.
trouble handicapping how many. Because look, Russell Wilson with his receivers in that offense, he's going to score points. He
Oh,
shouldn't have a
absolutely.
problem scoring at least 3 touchdowns. I'm having a hard time handicapping this Niners offense,
especially
without their
Kittle.
without their best weapon, which is George Kittle. I know they have Emmanuel Sanders now, but
They kind of like to grind it out. They're kind of old school, you know. They
that's
like to-
true too.
They have a lot of guys who run the football.
But then they get their sacks and their turnovers, and
Yes,
they
they
get
do.
short fields.
Yes, they do. I mean, but they like to run 3 running backs basically, and they have the three-headed monster at running back, and they basically like to wear defenses down. So I mean, if they got their running game going on, then that could be a big factor for them.
All right, so I think we're all in agreement. Frank, are you in on this? You like the Hawks
I mean,
plus the 6.5, or are you taking the Niners?
Well, I'm not much of a gambling person per se, but
just for fun.
just for fun, if I were to bet like little potato chips,
Yeah.
I'll definitely take the Seahawks on this one. I do think that the Niners will win, but
Close.
I think the Seahawks will cover.
They're just about to kick the ball here. Looks like the Niners are going to get the ball first. We're going to get Jim Jackson on the line in just a little bit. Flyers are on fire, Brad.
They're playing good hockey.
They go 2 in a row over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, on the road, they win 2 shootouts against the Maple Leafs and the Bruins.
Well, you're beating
two
basically
Stanley
two of
Cup
the,
contenders by any account
two.
going into the season.
They won two. They beat two elite teams on the road. That is very, very impressive. And I'll tell you what, the Bruins in particular, that is a very, very tough team to play against. And for the Flyers to be able to go into Boston,
you've been talking about the Bruins all season. How
they are
talented you think
they are, and they're physical. The Bruins have the whole package, and for the Flyers to be able to go into Boston and beat that team is a real good job.
And, you have Provorov who's stepping up. You have Konechny and Lindblom really developing. Giroux's pulling his weight. Provorov is playing up to his contract finally and his potential finally. You're third in the Metropolitan. I think the Flyers might even be a little bit better team than the Islanders. I mean, the Islanders got a really
they did have
they
a 10-game
surged
winning
up the
streak.
standings. They won 10 games in a row. We've seen that in Philadelphia before. That it does a lot when it comes to the points. So I think that the Islanders will come back to earth. So you look at them as maybe the second best team in the Metropolitan behind Washington.
Well, what about the Penguins?
The Penguins, they're the first wild card. The Flyers have one more point than them. They did lose to the Penguins 7-2 in Pittsburgh about a week ago. I don't know. Now Crosby's hurt, and Brad, I feel like every year you say that the
Penguins. Listen, the Penguins are not the same team they were last year. Obviously, they traded Phil Kessel.
Yeah, but every
So
year
he's
you
going.
say it's the party's over for Penguins.
It's
Like me with Alabama.
I keep thinking that Crosby and Malkin, that they're going to get injured and they're not going to play a lot of games because they're starting to get old. And Crosby is out tomorrow for the Rangers, so I mean that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, and the Rangers, I don't think the Rangers are going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs
But
this year, but they're not. But they're one of those teams that are going to be highly competitive this year. They're going.
Well,
I
in
think
the
they're
East-
a just miss. I think they're a just miss team.
In the East, you have Detroit, who's horrible. Ottawa's horrible.
Yes.
New Jersey, who's horrible, and Columbus, who's horrible. And then, the Rangers are in that.
The
next
Rangers
clump.
are in the are in the next.
In that next clump as mediocre teams, not awful teams.
The Rangers are
But
probably
they're
going to
young,
get. Yeah,
and they're
going to
building.
get. They're going to get around 82, 83 points. The Rangers. That's how I look at it. I mean, look, Rob, asking them to make the playoffs is a lot. They have 3 rookie defensemen right now, so you're looking at a team that
Jim Jackson right now hitting us up. He'll be on shortly. Frank's doing his due diligence.
But you got to give credit to the Flyers where credit is due. This is a big time for the Flyers,
And then you have the goalies who are playing great.
absolutely.
Elliott.
And Hart after a little slump has come back and was sensational last
Do
night.
we have Jim Jackson? Jim, are you there?
I'm here.
Jim Jackson, once again, Philadelphia Flyers play-by-play man on NBC Sports. On the TV, he does Phillies on 94 WIP. A Philadelphia broadcasting legend. Jim, we always thank you for a few minutes.
Not a problem.
Jim, Flyers are on fire. I mean, they have a huge weekend. They win 2 shootouts over the Leafs and the Bruins, respectively. Just kind of take us what you've seen that's different about this team as far as years past, and can they sustain the success for an 82-game regular season?
Well, I mean, one thing I noticed that is different, which really I noticed before they started winning a lot of games, was that they were taking play to opponents pretty consistently. They up until, and I haven't checked today, but up until the game yesterday, they had the best shot differential in the NHL in terms of shots for and shots against. Sometimes that can be a deceiving stat, but it usually gives you an idea that you're driving possession. The analytics have all been very favorable for the Flyers. They've had more possession in the offensive zone, much more than their opponents have had in their zone, and that's usually a good thing. I mean, if that's usually putting more pucks on net, getting more chances to score than your opponents, and in general, unless your goaltending is really bad and the other team's is really good, you're going to win a lot of games. So that was really a positive development through the first, I thought, 7 or 8 games of the season. Here of late, they haven't actually driven possession as well, but they have had better results. They're coming through with obviously a lot of clutch plays, and they're winning shootouts. Lo and behold, they're winning shootouts. and they scored an overtime goal as well. There's been a lot of close games here that could have gone the other way. So I don't want to get too carried away with the record. It's a great record. It's their best start in 7 years through 16 or 17 games, but they have won games that easily could have gone the other way. So it's not as though this is something they can sit back and rest on their laurels. They still have a lot of work to do. They just completed a great week, 4 real good opponents. Quite frankly, they were all quality teams, and they won them all, albeit 3 of them by the thinnest of margins, but they won them all. But, the reward for that is Washington on Wednesday, probably the hottest team in the league. And then after a game in Ottawa, they get the Islanders, who may be the second hottest team in the league, or maybe vice versa. One of those two, the hottest teams in the league. So it doesn't get any easier for them. It's going to be a real dogfight in the Metropolitan Division in the Eastern Conference for these playoff spots, but certainly a lot of good signs, especially from the younger players. The youth really being served with this club.
Youth being served is right. Oscar Lindblom is a player that's popped off the screen for me this season. Travis Konechny as well. And I think Ivan Provorov is having a much improved season as well after that big contract. Kind of talk about the young guys on this team and, maybe highlight some guys that I didn't mention that can step forward as well and help this team get to where it wants to go after an 82-game regular season.
Well, you're really looking at the guys you mentioned and anybody else I would mention, all under 23. I mean, it's becoming a young man's league. There's no doubt about it. I always have been somebody who's checked the average age of teams out. And when I first came into the league, and that was a long time ago now, back in the 90s, there were teams averaging over 30 years of age. Now, the oldest team is in the 28s, and most of the teams are 27 and younger, and there's 2 or 3 teams that actually average 25 years of age. So it has gotten much younger. And the younger players are getting bigger roles, and that certainly is the case with the Flyers. When you talk about Travis Konechny, the leading scorer, Oscar Lindblom tied with Konechny as the leading goal scorer. You talk about Ivan Provorov, who's still only 22, seems like he's been around forever and all that, but he's still only 22. He's their leading minute guy. When you talk about Carter Hart, a 21-year-old goaltender, and you talk about all the other guys, Sanheim, and then you throw in a Joel Farabee at 19, and he is playing like a 25, 26-year-old. That's a lot of youth to have on one team, and they're not playing fourth line roles. I mean, these guys are on the top power play unit. They're on the second power play unit. As I said, with Provorov, he leaves them in minutes, and obviously Hart, your starting goaltender. So you're talking about key roles with this team, young players. That bodes very well for the future.
Jim, a guy like Niskanen, what has he added, do you think, to the team? I mean, with his veteran leadership and the locker room.
He's added a lot. I've really been impressed with him. Basically, I think what impresses me most about him is that it's not one particular thing that impresses me. It's everything. He's just his all-around game is great. He's physical.
He's mean, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got his side. He loves to find young players and hit them. You may remember him. He laid out Scotty Lawton. Actually gave him a concussion with a hit back when he was with the Capitals. I think he finds.
He's got an edge to him.
Yeah, I think he finds young guys. He certainly found Jack Hughes, and I mean he finds the young guys and buries them. And he's not afraid to hit anybody, so he's an equal opportunity hitter. But the physical side of his game is there. He certainly can handle the power play. He could be the power play quarterback if he had to be. He doesn't have to be on this team, but as it is, he's doing a lot of good things on that second unit. He seems to have really become a real good partner for Ivan Provorov. He's also a guy who's already starting to speak up when things aren't going well. We saw that when they lost a couple of bad games on that one road trip, and he was one of the guys speaking up saying we can't be this bad. So there's a lot to Matt Niskanen to really like. A really good signing, I think, a really good acquisition by the Flyers. And when you think about adding him and Braun, now Braun struggled some, but they had to add some kind of veteran influence back there on the blue line. And Niskanen has certainly been exactly that and more as to what they expected.
What about the penalty killing? Because it seems like the penalty killing has gotten a lot better this year, too.
Yeah, some of it's a lot of the credit's going to go to Mike Yeo, the assistant coach, who's handling that, and maybe that's deserved. He will tell you that there's a lot of new players on the penalty kill. Kevin Hayes has done a really good job as a penalty killer. Just seems to cover a lot of ground with that reach of his. He's good at breaking plays up. So he's been a good penalty killer.
He's also a dangerous player on the penalty kill because he's got that wrist shot.
Much of that. Yeah, we've seen the one shorthanded goal, the only one the team has.
Will, though.
I think we'll see even more of that.
You will.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's a
they've
solid
got,
player.
Oscar Lindblom and a lot of guys who've really just jumped up and are doing the job on the penalty kill now. So it's not all about system. They are much more aggressive in their penalty kill. That is for sure. This team used to sit back, used to drive some of the analysts I work with crazy how much they sat back on the penalty kill. Those days are gone. If they see a puck even slightly bobbled, they're going to go after that guy. They're going to give them very little time to operate on the man advantage. And the Flyers, as of yesterday, going into yesterday's play, had both a power play and a penalty kill in the top 10, and it's been a long time since that's been the case.
And that's huge because that special teams wins hockey games, especially close games.
Jim, you mentioned the coaching staff. You mentioned Mike Yao. He's a former head coach. You have Vigneault, and then you go from kind of Hackstall and Hextall, who are kind of, a little bit green, to Chuck Fletcher, Elaine Vigneault, with a lot of experience in terms of assistant coaches. How do you think that's helped these young players develop?
Yeah, I mean, Hexie was very experienced. I don't want to correct you there, but he had been an assistant general manager for years with the Kings and the Flyers. So he wasn't green as a general manager coming in. Hextall certainly was as an NHL head coach. But I don't really think it has as much to do with what they did. In fact, Ron Hextall, when and if this team does win, is going to deserve a lot of credit because that whole first question that I answered, every single one of those players was acquired by Ron Hextall. So he's going to be the guy who put a lot of the pieces in place, similar to like Ed Wade put a lot of pieces in place for the Phillies when they finally won it. And Ed Wade got, of course, buried in this town when he was the GM. But as it turned out, he brought the nucleus of that championship team to town. And Ron Hextall probably will turn out doing the same if this team goes on to bigger and better things because all those draft picks that he made are the guys we're talking about as the young core of this club right now. But in terms of Alain Vigneault, I am just supremely impressed with this guy. He is, I don't even know where to start. The one area I did not know about him, and I probably should, I've been covering the guy from the opposition standpoint, of course, but been covering him for a lot of years through his time in Montreal, Vancouver, and with the Rangers. But what I wasn't aware of was he's such a meticulous coach when it comes to preparation. He is, I've had some of the assistants tell me, I've had some of the players tell me, some of the players who've played for a lot of coaches, whether it be here or elsewhere, that he's one of the most prepared coaches they've ever seen. That no stone is left unturned in terms of preparing. When he found out about the rules, about the face-offs, and the fact that you can now determine which side you take the draw on after icings and after certain other plays, and that's knocked off, things like that. He then set the assistant coaches into a study of all of the strengths and weaknesses, right, left of face-off people from other teams, as well as obviously the Flyers. And they're examining everything. And of course, with analytics now, you can examine everything, but he really does not leave anything unturned. So that's impressive about him. And I'm also very impressed with his ability in game to notice, figure out, assess who's going. I don't know if there's any sport that's quite like hockey in that certain guys, the puck's bouncing their way on certain nights. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's because just they're tight. Sometimes it's because it's just the way it's going. There's luck, whatever. But he has this knack of knowing what guys are on their game, and he goes with them. 2 games ago, it was a game in Toronto, a huge game, and Andy Andrioff was just up from Lehigh Valley, put together on that fourth line, and they were clearly very good when they got their limited opportunities early in the game. And as the game wore on, a very tight hockey game that ended up going, obviously, into extra hockey, as they all seem to be going here lately. There they were out there a lot in the third period. I mean, it was a regular shift for them. One point, I think I even saw them out there on a double shift kind of thing where they actually were out there for 2 out of 3 shifts. So I mean, he seizes that. He does not care how much money you're making. He does not care what your name is. He does not care if you have a letter on your jersey. If you're not going, you're not going to play as much. And he doesn't care if you're a guy just up from the minors. If you are going, you are going to play.
Yeah,
And
he gets guys in the Chateau Bow Wow pretty quick.
I wouldn't say that. I would say he is a very honest. He does not pull punches.
No,
He is
but
not
he did that.
afraid.
He did that a lot with the Rangers, though. If there was if a player wasn't playing,
the
they
players said that. Kevin Hayes was said to be in his doghouse. I talked to Kevin about that. He said I never got that. I just didn't get that narrative. I never felt like I was in his doghouse. He basically always tells you what you're not doing and why you're not playing.
oh, Kreider was in his doghouse a lot. I could tell you that. That was one guy.
Yeah, and he's been in doghouses ever since.
Yeah,
He's a talented guy who turns it on and off.
well, yeah, he
But what I'm saying
takes too many
is,
shifts off.
If you say doghouse, to me that means that he has grudges on players and he has them and he puts a label on them and he never ever gives them a chance. I just patently disagree with that. He lets them play and he will tell them what the problem is and he will tell the media what the problem is. I'm not sure, in that regard, I find it refreshing. But
well, I like it when they do that. I like it when coaches do that because you know what? These guys get the message.
Like it as fans, right?
Yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah.
the players, it might wear thin after a while. I think with Ken Hitchcock, sometimes he's done that in the past, and that's why his shelf life seemed to get shorter and shorter as his career went on because he was not afraid to use the media to get messages to players.
He doesn't
I'm
do.
not sure
Vigneault
that
does
Alain
not do
Vigneault
that.
is doing that to get messages. I think Alain Vigneault is just relaying to the media what he's already told these players. I never get the feeling that he's telling us that he needs more production from Shane Gostisbehere before he's already told Shane Gostisbehere the same thing. I don't think he's telling Jake Voracek he needs more from him before he's already told him that same thing. So I think if he does it that way, he'll have more leeway. But he is not certainly afraid to say to the media if he's not happy with a guy, and that was another thing I was going to bring up. So he's really been quite good, and the practices he runs are extremely high tempo, very little time in front of a whiteboard. It's you go over the drills ahead of time, and you get out there and you skate. He doesn't like a lot of practices. Morning day skates are usually not a thing that he deals with unless the schedule kind of calls for it, like you did on Saturday in Toronto. But for the most part, he says you go hard in practice on the days between games, and then get yourself ready to play on the day of the game. And I like that too.
I think right now he is one of the top 5 coaches in the NHL, so they're very fortunate to have him. I mean, you look at him and Trotz and some of these other guys, that have been around and won the Stanley Cup, or in Vigneault's case, has gotten to the finals twice with 2 different teams. I mean, that speaks a lot about what kind of a coach he is.
Well, it does, and I was looking the other day of the top 17 coaches in terms of wins in NHL history. 8 of them, I believe, are coaching right now. I think it's 8 out of 17.
Wow.
I mean, that's kind of remarkable. I mean, almost half of the top 17 coaches are coaching now. So this might kind of be the golden age of coaches when you got a Joe Quenneville out there and Mike Babcock and Barry Trotz and Alain Vigneault and John Tortorella. I can go down the list of all these guys who are well over 500 wins as head coaches, and they're all coaching the same era. So it is really a great group of coaches. But Alain Vigneault has, if you look at his track record, taken teams that were not doing well, and he takes them into contention. He never won the Stanley Cup. And that's certainly brought up.
But that's not his fault. Listen.
I don't think so. I think
he never had the best team
that deep. I don't know how often the coach is really going to determine if you win a Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final. I think it comes down to other factors.
But I mean, the Rangers weren't better than the Kings a few years ago, and certainly the Canucks were just out physical by the Bruins. I mean, they were just out muscled, and I mean that's not Vigneault's fault.
I mean, I think if you get your team deep in the playoffs, at that point, I mean, there may be a couple coaches who maybe they melt down when they get to that point of the schedule or something. But
yeah, but it's not
for the
him.
most part, if you're getting your team into and deep into the playoffs on a consistent basis, Alain Vigneault has certainly done that, then you're a good coach. And whether you win it all or not is sometimes based on circumstance, injuries, health of your team, all those other things you talked about. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of factors. So, it's kind of interesting because if we flash back to when the offseason began and everybody wanted Joe Quenneville, and that went by the boards really fast, and everybody said, oh, now they're going to get the second choice. But, boy, if Alain Vigneault is the second choice, and I don't think he was, Chuck Fletcher really likes him, but, it's a heck of a second choice because he's really an accomplished coach, and I'm seeing why now with his methods.
Jim, what about the goalie situation? I mean, they've had Brian Elliott really picked up the slack when Carter Hart was kind of cold to start the season. And obviously, Carter Hart should be the number 1 goalie. Do you think his struggles are behind him? And
I think there will be more bumps. He's 21. He's a goalie. That's kind of just not something you see very often. You have your Patrick Waz and you have your Marty Brodeurs. You have a couple here and there, but for the most part, goalies take a little while to develop, and I think he's going to have probably some speed bumps. And that's the thing is he handles them really well. He's not ruffled by it. He's got certain ways of handling adversity, just like he handles his preparation for a game. He's a very mature kid. He looks young, facially and all that, but he's a very mature 21-year-old. So I don't think he's just going to sail the rest of the year. I don't think he'll sail the rest of his career. He's going to have times where the puck starts going in a little bit. He is such a angle goaltender, a goalie who relies on precision, and sometimes when you're off of the precision, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be, there's going to be some pucks going in there like, wow, how did that get in? But for the most part, as he showed in last night's game, he's going to be a goalie that's clutch. I mean, he came up with some huge saves in that game as the team was running out of gas in the third period, and he won the game for him. Let's face it. He made
Now, when
the penalty shot save, and then
To be able
a couple
to
breakaways.
win in Boston, that is a very tough building, and quite honestly, in my opinion, that Boston Bruin team might be the best team in the league right now.
where do you stand when his next speed bump inevitably comes, as you just pointed out, because he is 21 years old? Are you a back to the minors guy, or are you
No.
let him ride it out? I agree.
I think he showed
I agree with you.
right there where he had 3 straight subpar performances, pulled in 2 of them. That it didn't cause any kind of problem for him. If you're talking to him during those stretches, he was, I'm not going to get too long here. I just have to get my game back. And Brian Elliott did pick up the pace and happened to be really playing well. So I think he went longer than he probably wanted to between playing, or didn't play very much for that stretch there after the third straight subpar performance. So it was kind of hard. He couldn't jump right back on the horse. But when the other goalie comes in and plays well, he certainly understood that, and he did his work. And when he got his chance, he was ready. And I think he can handle that again. So, if you don't start talking minors, in my opinion, until we're talking about a prolonged slump, something of the tune of, 10, 12 games. If he has 10 or 12 games where he's really struggling, then you might send him down, but not as he's got to start over again, just to recycle and get his game back in gear. I don't think we'll see a stretch that long for Carter Hart where he's struggling. I think he's technically sound enough. In fact, most people you talk to, goalie coaches I talk to, say he's technically elite. So those kind of goalies can usually recalibrate, figure it out, and get it back in gear before 10 games have gone by. So I think he's here to stay. You never know. Never say never. Things can be crazy in sports. Just when you think you have a sport conquer, that's when it jumps up and gets you. But I do think he's the guy for this team. And I think so because not only his athletic ability and his ability as a goaltender, but just because he is such a sound person. He's really rooted the right way, and those kind of people I think can succeed. He works his tail off. He's another one of these guys who's got that elite talent, but he matches it with elite work ethic. That usually is a pretty good equation.
All right, now the Flyers, not your only full-time broadcasting job in the city. You had a front row seat to the Phillies last season. The Gabe Kapler era has ended. They now have Joe Girardi as the manager. How do you think he's going to fit in this city, and can he get more out of this roster than the Kapler regime did?
I think he'll fit in well because he gets it. He's been in the media. He's managed in New York for a long time. So there's nothing as crazy as we get here in Philadelphia. There's nothing he hasn't seen yet from a media standpoint or from a fan standpoint. So I think he'll be able to handle it. You saw his press conference. He handled it perfectly. I think he'll be able to handle the adversity when it rolls, as it always does during a 162-game schedule. So from the standpoint of fitting in and understanding what the market wants, I think he's right there at the top of the list, whereas Gabe was very inexperienced in that role. Let me say this about Gabe Kapler. He's not the reason the team didn't play well. He really isn't. It just I'm not. I read a lot of stuff about Gabe from people who aren't around the club on a daily basis. It's just way out there. I don't think he's the problem. He wasn't the solution, which you can absolutely say. I think at his stage, just taking over as a manager, he was still learning on the job a little bit from a standpoint of clubhouse communication and being able to dole out discipline, as well as how to deal with the media and deal with being seen by the fans in the proper way. All of that has already been experienced and done by Joe Girardi. So he's way past that, and I think he'll be ahead of the game there. As for what he does with the roster, I got to see the roster first because they do need pitching. It's just flat out, the word out is they're going to have to Garrett Cole. You're going to spend a lot of money if you're going to Garrett Cole.
Are they? Do they have another $30 million a year budget? Because that's what it's going to cost.
Easy for me to
for
say.
him. Yeah, I know.
They have it, but then they're going to go with the luxury tax. So it's going to be even more than that.
Well, what about?
It's gonna
I
be a
mean, is
lot of money
Strasburg an
going
option?
forward.
You think? I mean, he won't be as
He is, and
expensive.
he's probably a little bit. I use this term loosely. A little bit of a cheaper option, but we're going to be talking about huge money for either one of those two. Strasburg is just a little older, and he's had more injury issues, so I think he's going to get a little less because of that than because of anything else. I think they're both elite pitchers, but there's a bit more of a risk factor with Strasburg. But the way Cole throws, any pitcher to me is a risk. I don't
agree.
even know if I would do it if I'm the Phillies. I want them to upgrade their pitching as much as anybody, but the long-term deals for pitchers is just not a good track record for them throughout baseball.
Now,
What about Mad Bum? Do you think he'd be a good fit here?
Nah, I think he's on the downside.
Yeah,
more so than the
I'm
two
not
guys we
really a
just
Mad
talked
Bum
about.
guy either.
I love Mad Bum. I love his approach and all that. And I think he would fit in here because he's got a football mentality. But
He's got an attitude, that's for sure.
yeah, and I think it's an attitude Philly fans would like. But I think we've seen some decline with him, whereas the other two guys I think are right at their peaks right now. So I wouldn't. Now again, it comes down to expenses. If they can get Zach Wheeler's price is going up huge. I'm seeing the interest in him out there. He's going to end up not being a cheap option either. So they're going to have to spend a lot of money to get one of these pitchers. If they're willing to go out and get Cole, I think that they're most likely looking at being willing to accept having to deal with that luxury tax, and that's a huge, huge expense. So I can't spend their money for him. Would Garrett Cole make this team instantly a contender? Absolutely. You put Cole and Nola at the top of the rotation. You can fill in some guys, hoping obviously that Howard develops, and also Eflin is founded after going back to what he thought he could do. Whatever you can get from Jake Arrieta is Jake Arrieta. And who knows about Nick Pivetta under a different pitching coach? We'll see about that. But if you put Cole and Nola at 1-2, you can figure out how to work the rest of the staff.
Well, and Joe is real good. Joe's real good with the bullpen. I mean, that's one of his strengths. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, so I got to watch a lot of him, and nobody.
Well, that's good. Did you like it? Because I've heard some that said he overused the bullpen.
No, the Yankees didn't have any starting pitching, so I mean that's part of the problem. But he puts guys in a position where they're going to win. I mean that's the thing that you love about him. He has his big binder, and everybody used to get mad at him, in New York about it. But I'll tell you what, he would put, even if it wasn't a great relief pitcher out there, he would put the right pitcher in for the right hitter, and he always had the magic touch. I mean, and also who would have the balls to pinch hit Alex Rodriguez and put Raul Ibanez in a playoff game,
Yeah.
And then Raul Ibanez goes and hits
Smacked it
2
over the
home
gate.
runs to beat the Orioles. And I know that was a long time ago, but still, to do something like that with Alex Rodriguez just tells you that he doesn't care who it is. He's going to play to win, and he's great with the bullpen.
We just talked about with Vino, and I think that's something that a good manager / coach in other sports needs to be able to do. And I don't know as if Gabe Kapler just starting out could do that, but as a guy with the cred and the resume of Joe Girardi, he can certainly do that. So it'll be interesting to see. He was my choice. I'm happy they got him, and but from a roster standpoint, he's going to need more pitching. And I'm not just talking about the starters. We can even talk about the bullpen. They've got to find some pieces there too, and try to keep them healthy, which they couldn't do last year.
All right, Jim, last thing before we let you go. You're obviously a great 4-for-4 Philadelphia sports fan. Can you assess quickly the Eagles' chances this Sunday against the New England Patriots?
Oh, against the Patriots.
Yes.
You had to throw that in there.
Both. Well, you can go both. I think one's a little more positive than the other.
Yeah, it is. I think they can lose the game to the Patriots and still win the division.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily. I just think the Cowboys are a team that they're there to be had. They're very talented, but it just doesn't seem to come together for them, and the rest of the division's a mess.
Well,
so,
the Cowboys have to play New England too.
Yeah, they still got the Patriots.
They're not going to beat them
And
either.
It's probably going to come down to the Eagles-Cowboys game, let's face it. If the Eagles take care of business as they should with the rest of their schedule, they could lose to Seattle, lose to the Patriots, and still have 6 losses, and beat the Cowboys, take care of the Giants twice, and the Dolphins. 10-6 wins the division, I think.
That's true.
So I'm
Agreed.
not too worried about the division. I think they can win that. But the Patriots, beating the Patriots, they could do it. Patriots obviously showed some holes in their last game before their bye. But Belichick was with 2 weeks to prepare. Carson better.
That's
be ready
almost
for all kinds
unfair.
of strange things defensively. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
It
get
is.
Seattle off a bye too.
They do, and that's going to be difficult too. So those 2 games are really tough. That would give them 6 losses. I still think they could win the rest of their games. I think they'll be favored in all of them. To be honest with you, the Cowboy game in Philly, I think the Eagles will still be favored. So
Yeah,
you
I
agree
agree
with
with
over
that.
the Giants and the Dolphins. So I just think 10-6. Am I missing a game? 10.
No, you got it.
No, you get the
Okay.
Skins.
The Redskins.
Skins.
The Redskins. Yeah, they
another
stink
game.
too.
They will clearly be favored. So, I just think it's right there for the taking. But to beat the Patriots coming off a bye, it's going to be interesting. But again, the Patriots aren't at. I think they've hit. Usually the Patriots kind of give people reason for concern early and then rise to a peak right at the right time. They may have peaked a little early this year. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jim, thanks for a few minutes as always, and best of luck on the call. Bring some more luck for our Flyers.
Yeah, right. I wish I had something to do with it. Believe me, on Twitter, I think I do. But no, it's been a lot of fun. The Flyers have been a lot of fun to call when you have a young team that's kind of on the rise and you see so much potential. It's a lot of fun, and I had a lot of people watching last night. The ratings came out, and it was pretty. This town is a hockey town that they haven't had a playoff series win in 7 years, so it's a little bit dormant right now, but it's just ready to pop. And for anybody out there who hasn't seen the Wells Fargo Center, I don't know if you guys have.
I'm going to
If you've gone
25th.
down-
I'm going to
I've
25th.
been there.
I think it's against the Canucks.
They don't like to call it renovations, but the
Yeah.
improvements or whatever, transformation, whatever you want to call it, is unbelievable. Upstairs, the balcony level is just
That's where I'm
beautiful.
sitting.
If you're a sports fan, you go to the sports book and watch whatever you want to watch during the intermissions or whatever. It's really, they've done a great job, and it's a fun place to be. They got the standing room. It kind of reminds me of Ashburn Alley at Phillies games, where it's a social event up there. You see a lot of young people, and I think it's really going to catch on, especially as the team gets better and more people are there, and they'll see how it's fun. This is a pretty very affordable price up there, up top, $25. So there's just a lot of neat things. Obviously, the gritty stuff going on is crazy. So it's a lot of fun, and obviously winning makes it even that much more fun.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jim.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yep. There's Jim Jackson, everyone. Very kind with his time, as always.
Very informative.
Very
as always.
informative.
A gentleman.
Yeah, decorum and honor
Yeah,
would be
he's-
2 words that come to mind.
He really
when
is.
it comes to Jim
he
Jackson.
really is a treasure, and the city of Philadelphia is very lucky to have a guy like him.
I liked what he said about Vigneault and holding the players accountable
Oh yeah. Oh, listen.
and calling them out in the media,
When I say he's
but
somebody's in
never
the
stepping out of
doghouse-
line.
No, he's not like Tortorella. Because when you were in Tortorella's
Tortorella's a nut.
when you're in Tortorella's doghouse, and I'll give you the same player again, Chris Kreider, okay? When you're in Tortorella's doghouse, you never get out. When you're in Vigneault's doghouse, okay, you're in there until the guy that replaces you has a lousy game, and then you're back in. He doesn't hold a grudge, but you're going to sit there and you're going to watch until you get your acting, until the other guy messes up. So that's basically, and that's how it should be. And it being that he is a guy like that, it's good to have guys like that. And he plays 4 lines. He likes to play 6 defensemen. He doesn't sit there and go with and wear out the top players. So if they make the playoffs, the guys are going to be fresh on the top 6.
Which is always good over an 82-game season. Niners putting it on the Seahawks here. They're up 10-0, just about end of the first quarter. The Seahawks are getting eaten alive on slants, and they're getting eaten alive on 3rd down.
Well, they also had that interception that got called back, which
I missed that.
Well, the
While we were
Seahawks
talking
had
to
an
Jim.
the Seahawks had an interception, and they were called for offensive pass pass interference or defensive holding.
The
One of those
Seahawks
two.
picked it off.
The Seahawks picked off on the first drive before they kicked the field goal. That seemed to have turned the game around. So
I mean, they're getting eaten alive on these slants. It's been every big play I've seen.
yeah, the Seahawks
been a
defense
slant.
has not. The Seahawks defense has not stepped up yet.
They're not really like I mean, it's tough to really dive into the game when you're here on the show. We're talking to Jim Jackson, obviously, but it seems like they're in man. But
Well,
they're
let's
playing
not-
too far off. I mean,
let's
you're
not
getting beat by
forget-
slants every game.
Let's not
every,
forget
time.
the 49ers did put up 51 points against the Carolina
I hear you.
Panthers.
They're a good team.
Yeah, I mean it's not like the Panthers aren't exactly the Giants. I mean they come out and they're a good football team. So I mean
And
they're
then
capable
they
of
had the
scoring a lot
one
of
3rd and
points.
2, and then I don't know who it was who blasted right up the middle and got right in Russell Wilson's face.
Well,
That's going nowhere.
Well,
I mean,
as we've mentioned before,
let me tell you something about pro football in 2019. Everyone get your notebook out, get your pad and paper, and take fucking notes. You can't run sideline to sideline in this league anymore. Tosses, sweeps, they're out. You got defensive linemen who run 4.5 40s. You have linebackers who run 4.3 40s. You can't run sideline to sideline in this league. If you want to run the football outside, you got to run a
gotta bounce it
counter.
out.
You
You've
got to
gotta
run a
bounce it out.
counter or a trap or something like that. The sweep is just it's not a thing anymore.
that should be pass
I mean,
interference.
he didn't really turn around.
He never turned around. He just pushed him. I mean, that should be pass interference, but I guess not.
But that's just a poor play call on second down there.
I mean, he never turned around, but he did
I mean,
get his hands on the ball. But still, oh yeah, he did. He had his head back. That's
I mean,
that's a great
yeah.
play. But he's pushing him the whole time.
I've seen less called.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
Pass interference. You could argue for days about pass interference.
But you
nobody's ever
can't
gonna
run
understand period.
sideline to sideline in this league anymore. Those days are dead.
Well, it's a listen. It's
too,
a passing. It's
these
a passing league
defensive
right now.
guys are too explosive and quick and agile. It doesn't work. It doesn't. You pound them up the middle. If you want to run misdirection or a trap or a counter, that's fine. You got to bounce it out. That's how you get the edge in this league these days. You can't run sideline to sideline unless you really, 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 really catch a team sleeping.
Or if you have a really good offensive line that can seal the edge. I mean that's and you have to have a fullback. Who can block. That's really the.
But they can't block everybody. It
No,
just makes
but-
me.
but
You
if
know
you
what
have a
else
lead
drives me?
blocker-
You know what else? I don't know if we mentioned it on air or not, or if when we were talking before. Teams that go into shotgun when it's 1st and goal inside the 5, it drives me nuts. It drives me absolutely bonkers. If I have 1st and goal inside the 5, I'm lining up under center and I'm pounding it in there 4 times. I'm going for it on 4th down 4 times. Drove me nuts watching the Chargers and the Raiders game on Thursday. Melvin Gordon was having the best game. Who's really hitting his stride, running up and down the field on the Oakland Raiders. They get inside the 5-yard line. They're in shotgun. They're trying to run these
They're trying to trick the other
trick
team.
plays.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Melvin Gordon's one of the best backs in the league. Pound it up there. If you don't want to use him, use Austin Eckler, who's having a great season in his own right. And Doug does it all the time, and it frustrates the hell out of me. Absolutely frustrating when he, especially against
Jordan Howard would
especially
be
against the
a
Bears.
good player
when you
to do
have
that with.
1st and goal inside the 5, one was 2nd and goal inside the 5, the other was 1st and goal, and you want to do bubble screens and shotgun when you have one of the best power backs going in the whole league. It drives me nuts. I wish some of these coaches would just get back to fundamental power football, especially in the red zone, and not try and be the smartest guy in the room
You can
outthink the game.
You can run the ball when in a shotgun though.
You can.
I mean,
Yes.
you can hand the ball off. Sometimes a lot, but the thing is, a lot of these running backs like to line up about 6-7 yards behind the line so they can see the holes better. That's kind
Okay.
of how the NFL is, and to your point, that's why the shotgun doesn't always work with the running game inside the 5-yard line, because these guys really
It doesn't work.
No, these guys really kind of like to. They kind of like to be like, if you're at the 5, most of the running backs are going to be standing around the 10 to 12-yard line because they want that way they can see the holes and hit the holes better.
But, unless you have – look, if you have a special quarterback like Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson can move. Your boy there in New York can move a little bit. But really, I mean –
Mahomes, he can move a lot.
yeah, but
Baker can move.
Mahomes throws it in from 75 yards away.
Yeah.
They don't have the ball inside the 5 ever.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Aaron Rodgers can run it into if he has to, but
Not even run it – like, not even the running aspect of it. The decision-making process of it. Because the whole league's RPOs. It's RPO this, RPO that. The quarterback changes it based on if the end collapses or whatever the other determining factors are.
If the linebackers are up in the box, if there's an 8-man box, they're going to throw. They're going to throw.
I wouldn't even give them a choice, especially if you have a back like Jordan Howard or Melvin Gordon or who are the other good backs? Elliott.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't run the ball worth boo last night against the Vikings.
Nobody runs against the Vikings. The Vikings defense is really good. And boy, I tell you what, they gave Dallas a pretty. The score, in my opinion, did not reflect what that game was like. I thought the Vikings.
No, Dak played well. I know that's blasphemous to say here in the Philadelphia market.
Yeah, but they didn't run the ball well.
No, they sold out to run the ball, and that's the strength of their team. And they dared Dak to beat them with one-on-one coverage on the outside. The receivers got open, and Dak delivered the ball.
Yeah,
and
but so did Kirk Cousins.
He played well too.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is having a pretty good year this year. Very quietly.
In typical Dallas Cowboy fashion, they couldn't punch it in at the end.
No, and basically, if you look at them, the Cowboys against good teams this year have been woeful.
Oh, let's take a break, Frank. We do the break. We're gonna do the break. We're gonna talk all things NFL, all the upsets yesterday, midseason predictions, Eagles Patriots preview. We have college football playoff coming out. Alabama loses, Penn State loses, Sixers, college hoops, everything's going on. We'll have it all for you in the Sports Hounds, A2D Radio. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back. Sports Hounds, A2D Radio, Real Talk Studios, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Cherry Hill, Burlington, Princeton, New Jersey. Find them on the web at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We're also brought to you by ATS Sports. Visit atsports.com. Use the promo code A2D Radio, 20% off. Get to some comments here. Big first half. We neglected our family here in the A2D. Big Abe tonight, Thomas Arnone. Let's go. He loves the Seahawks, so he's echoed the sentiment. It's now 10-0. Niners are kind of doing whatever they want, really.
Yeah, Seattle's going to have to pick it up because...
That was good pressure there by, was that Clowney, number 90?
Yep. There's no mistaking that haircut.
I mean, that's a shame that he's such a waste of talent.
Yeah, he only has 2 sacks this year.
Because
when
he's... I mean, I still would have made the trade if I were the Eagles. Get your mic on the thing.
It's hard to believe that
First show.
Sorry about that, guys.
First show, everyone.
It's hard to believe that he only has 2 sacks this year.
But when he's engaged and motivated. He makes plays that change football games.
Did he not play in the preseason?
No, he's holding out.
Well, that's why
I think they traded for him, a couple of days before the season?
These guys, when they miss preseason like that, it inevitably comes back to bite them.
But, he's being a jabron when he's holding out, and he's not. He's probably eating pizza and not working out as much. And
well, there's no reason why he should only have 2 sacks. That's kind of ridiculous. He's a better player than that.
David Roska, 49ers will put more volume. Will win, put more volume here on Facebook. I'm sure Frank took care of that.
I took care of it. Any more messing with the volume, we might have a mishap. So
yeah, we don't want that.
We don't want that to happen, and then we have to go through a bunch of.
Well, everyone heard Jim Jackson.
Everybody heard Jim Jackson.
Care about our
right.
Stupid opinions.
Stop.
Mike Parker, pump up the juice. Dana O'Donnell, have a question for JJ. When he thinks back on his years of calling plays for the Flyers, is there one that sticks out to him as the greatest / most exciting game-winning goal series, great overtime goal? I apologize for not looking at the comments before the interview, but we have them on after baseball season and before hockey season. We try to have them on twice a year, once in the summer, once in the fall, and we have asked them that question before. And if you remember, there was a playoff series in the early 2000s against the Toronto Maple Leafs where Sammy Kapanen got laid out and he stumbled over to the bench, and then Roenick went down and lit the lamp to win the series.
Yes.
Remember that? He told us that the one time.
Yes,
that was his favorite.
That was his favorite
game.
Yep.
Tom Delaney, thoughts on Cherry being fired? That's the commentator out of Canada.
Don
Cherry.
Well, he was also the coach of the Boston Bruins.
I thought about asking him about that, but
it doesn't really concern. He's not really.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to. And
he's
plus,
not going to say anything.
We're not one of the. I mean, we're not one of those. We don't want to cause any too much trouble.
Yeah, but Cherry, Don Cherry was one of those guys that he always had. He spoke his mind. He
spoke his mind. He was very outspoken, not only with his what he says on the commentary, but also his wardrobe.
Yeah, his wardrobe. Yeah, he's he dresses kind of like kind of clown-like.
Oh yeah.
But some of the things he says aggravate people, and he
Yeah.
probably said something that. And again, I don't know this for a fact.
Right.
But just based on seeing Hockey Night in Canada on DirecTV and some of the things he says, he sometimes ruffles the wrong feathers, and obviously he got the wrong person mad. But you know what? I think he'll end up on one of the he'll end up being a broadcaster with one of the teams, probably one of the Canadian teams, most likely. Could be a Bruin, could be the Bruins too. I mean, if the Bruins want to bring him aboard, you never know.
Bob Brinkman, Seahawks loading the box, stopping the run. That is true. They're leaving a man up on the outside, and they're getting toasted by slants. Toasted.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like they kind of wrote the ship, and they found some balance defensively here. They got short yardage situation here on second down. About 8 minutes to go in the first half. Niners up 10-0. But we'll see. I expect this to go down to the wire. I expect the Seahawks to show up.
I would think that the 49ers, the Seahawks need to stabilize the game. Now it's 10-0. They need to get something going before the first half. Try to at least make it a one-score game.
Chrome checks in. Check out Chrome tomorrow on Birds of a Feather. And Thursday, lazy booking still a thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They did not have a show last week.
Well, Chrome's in Florida. Chrome's in Florida all the time.
Chrome's been
That's who I want to be when I grow up.
You want to be Chrome?
I want to be Chrome.
Ah.
Yeah. He's all over the place.
Yep.
He's got 2 shows on fastest growing internet radio station on the planet. What could be better? He got his Flyers. I got to text Chrome about my Flyers tickets. I got to get a game coming up. Got to work out the deets. Against the Canucks, Brad.
That'll be a good game. For $25, though, you can sit in the standing room section. That is not bad.
I forgot they did all that.
That is not bad.
Those renovations, those upgrades to.
Yeah,
the,
I haven't been to the Wells Fargo Center since they to see the upgrade. That I have not seen.
Bob Brakeman, Niners are for real.
Oh yeah, I think
Russell
I think the
Wilson's
Panthers
not
would
done
agree.
yet.
I would think the Panthers would.
I
would say
swear,
that.
I mean, I need a touchdown from Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, or field goals. Well, they certainly had that run snuffed out. I need, what did I say it was, Frank? 10 more points from those three guys to win one of my fantasy games.
Somewhere around there.
And I needed 13 points from
Yeah.
Zeke, which is basically 60 yards, 65 yards, and a touchdown. He didn't even come close. So not.
Yeah, he was stifled. Well, now here comes the problem because the 49ers are 3rd and 5, and it's time for a slant.
3. That looks like
was
more
3?
than 3.
Okay.
That looks like more than 3, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like 5, but whatever.
Uh,
Okay, so now he's going to have to throw it downfield. Nope. Incomplete. That's a big stop for
Look,
the Seahawks.
I don't know, but if I need Jimmy G to throw the ball 30 times and win me the game,
Can he
you
do
think
that?
he can do that?
He only has 13 touchdown passes this year. I mean, it's not like he's thrown a lot of touchdown passes. They did put 51 up against the Panthers, though. I mean, that's but then they beat the Redskins 9-0. They only got 9 points against the Redskins.
Yeah, but that was
that a bad?
That was terrible.
Oh, that was
yeah.
a bad weather game. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Giovanni Delval, what's up? Giovanni, first-time listener by my account. Thanks for checking in. Everyone here likes Seattle, plus the 6.5. Frank liked the Niners to win, but the Seahawks to keep it close. I thought this would. It still could be. It's only 10-0, and the Seahawks are about to get the ball.
Yeah.
But everyone here likes the
The Seahawks.
The Seahawks, thank you. All right, let's get into some NFL yesterday because we had some upsets, we had some breakout performances, and we have a big game in terms of the Philadelphia Eagles coming up against the New England Patriots. So you had the Tennessee Titans going into Arrowhead yesterday and winning at the last second. You had
That was a shocking loss for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
they have 4 losses at home.
That's unheard of.
I couldn't
'cause
believe
usually at home they're almost impossible to beat with.
And
the
Mahomes was
raucous-
back.
The raucous crowd. I mean, that's just surprising.
The Saints lose to the lowly Falcons, and thank God the Falcons won another game because if they went 1-15 and their only win was the Philadelphia Eagles in week 2, I would have lost my freaking mind.
Well, yeah,
So-
but now that they've beaten both the Eagles and the Saints, you have to sit there and say, how the hell did they beat the Eagles and the Saints and they can't win?
Well,
Can't beat anybody else? What is
remember-
up with that?
You remember the one year in college football, Pittsburgh, who stunk, beat Clemson and Penn State in the same year?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sometimes weird stuff happens. That's why they play the games.
Did they also beat Miami one year when Miami had a chance to be number 1, and Pittsburgh was
it's
a
possible.
mediocre team at best?
Boy, Richard Sherman looks like the Richard Sherman of
Yeah,
old.
he's highly engaged again. He's also healthy.
Lamar Jackson is insane.
Yeah, he is.
They beat the Patriots. They beat the doors off the Bengals yesterday, 49-13. I may have misspoke at the top of the show saying Russell Wilson's the favorite for MVP. It might be Lamar Jackson after beating the Patriots and
Very well could be. Well, let's see at the end of the season what happens because that's really going to be the whole
it's true.
point.
Well, who would you
there.
vote for?
Right now?
Yeah.
Jackson. To be honest with you, I mean, listen,
I might have to go Lamar too.
I mean, they pounded New England. I
Bad.
mean,
they did.
they beat the hell out of New England. Now,
Frank, you have a thought on that?
I'm sure when they play again,
With
NFL MVP.
it's a
man,
little early for that, but
it's a little early. but
Lamar.
is up there. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, another one.
yeah, Dalvin Cook has been a major surprise,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, but they're not as good as they are without Cousins doing what
Right.
he's doing.
true.
That
But
is
it's
true,
the
yeah.
combination of both.
Yeah, I got you.
It's because with Cook now,
If the Ravens have.
Cousins has great.
But look at it. If
really
the Ravens or the Seahawks had
great
a
weapons.
different type of quarterback,
Yeah.
there's no way they're doing what they're doing. They're just fierce up front, the Niners.
Yeah, they are
Fierce.
best defense in the league.
Rosca's in on it. He thinks the Angels will get Cole and Wheeler.
They might.
Looks like the Angels are going to spend a lot of money, and
They might.
Yeah.
They might. I mean, I've heard they're the early line.
like Jim
favorites
said,
for the-
I mean,
yeah.
I thought Wheeler was going to be a cheaper option to Strasburg. And
Anybody
Cole,
who
I mean,
spends
he
$100
might
million
be-
on Wheeler is out of their minds. Wheeler with all
think?
the injuries he's had.
Boy, he's pretty good, Brad.
Yeah, but wasn't his ERA over 4 this year? Has his ERA ever been under 4?
I'd have to look it up. I mean, they just not.
Frank, could you check Zach Wheeler's stats?
Yeah.
I mean, because Zach Wheeler, he's thing is he throws hard, and he does have a lot of good movement on his pitches. But I mean, his ERA and his overall stats, they've been good, but not $100 million.
All right. So, do you want his career numbers or just this past season?
Give me past season and career.
Past season. All right. So this past season, he has an 11-8 record with a 3.96 ERA, with a WHIP of 1.259, with a 4.1 wins above replacement.
Okay, what's his strikeout to walk ratio? What
His
was it?
K to BB ratio for this year. I gotta find it. It is 9. No, wait.
How many strikeouts did he have?
In 2000.
Last year.
Last year he had 195.
Okay, and how many
That's
walks?
pretty good.
Walks he had 50.
So it's
So
a
that's
4 to
4 to
1.
So
That's
4 to
pretty
1.
good.
Yeah, 4-1.
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Well,
Hold
I
on.
knew his walks were going
What
to be. I
if-
mean,
what-
his
yeah,
whip's
yeah.
125.
What's his career?
His career numbers, we got 44 and 38 record with a 3.77 ERA with a 1.294 WHIP with a 10.2 wins above replacement.
Well, the reason I like him so much is because
Then he is worth the money. Then Those
he's
are
a
some
ground
very
ball
good
pitcher, 24th in ground ball outs last year.
That's pretty good.
And his K to walk ratio.
He did pitch. He did pitch in a very pitcher-friendly stadium, though. City Field is not a hitter's ballpark.
Is it
YBKN
2.68.
YBKOM. What's your guys' opinion on the Niners D looking weak against Kyler Murray? Air raid offense, immediate passing. Do you think Pete Carroll should adjust the game to wear out Niners? I mean,
They're being
Kyler
out-
Murray's pretty.
Yeah,
Kyler
Kyler
Murray's
Murray's
pretty good.
He is.
Um,
And the
that was
Cardinals-
a short week on a Thursday. And the thing about Kyler Murray is when the lights are brightest, he seems to always play his best.
That was also the first time they played against him too, so it is a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah, a
the
short
first time.
week.
I think the 49ers have a
Well,
dynamite
Pete
defense.
Carroll hasn't figured out anything, or whoever calls it, their offensive coordinator, whoever's running everything
They're
on their offense.
not
is
getting
not.
much done so far, but it's still early.
The early penny on the pick is going to cost them now. That's from Tommy.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't even see it. I guess I was wrapped up.
that cost them.
Was
3
it a
points.
bad penalty? Was it a penalty?
Oh, it was a penalty. He tackled the guy. He tackled the
Bryce Blackwell.
receiver.
The Chiefs weren't at home, so I made a mistake. They were in.
Oh,
Tennessee.
they were in Tennessee. Okay.
Still, I didn't expect them to lose.
No, they should not. Brian Tannehill should not be out dueling Patrick.
I mean,
Mahomes.
he did it.
Yeah.
Mahomes was dynamite. Dynamite. Yesterday.
He was, but Tannehill had a pretty good game.
You know,
though.
they let up Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a deuce rushing.
Yeah, he can. Well,
Getting in November and December, you can't have that.
we
You
have
can't be
to-
getting gashed on the run like that.
Well, it helps also to be two-dimensional, to have the running game and the passing game going. That does help. 49ers have a great defense, though, guys. I mean, I'm not surprised by it anymore.
No,
I mean,
and they're gonna hold. They're gonna
I mean, they're a tough team. Don't. Wow, there you go. There's a
Wow.
fumble
Oh,
and a
look at
touchdown.
that. There you go.
Wow.
See, look at
Wow.
that. He's engaged. He's
Wow.
motivated. He makes football plays
There's
that
Clowney with the
that
was that the triple
change
play?
football games.
Was that the triple play by Clowney?
Did he get? He got the sack, the strip, and the touchdown.
And the touchdown. Did he?
This is what I was just saying. This.
Did he?
I mean,
I
get.
Was that? Did he do all that, or did he pick up the ball and run it in?
Well, we're gonna have the
Let's
instant
see,
replay. We
'cause-
got this thing called instant replay. We're gonna
Yeah,
check it
let's
out right
see.
now.
Let's
Let's
who
see. We
the
got
sack.
90. There's 90. No,
Oh.
that other guy got
No,
whoever that other guy. He picked it up.
Yeah, he picked it up. Well,
That
that's
other
okay
guy.
though. He's still Johnny on the spot.
He was coming.
Yeah, he he sure was.
He was coming.
Yeah, he would have had if the other guy didn't get him, he would have got him for sure. And that's a big touchdown.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a big touchdown. Seattle finally getting on the board. As I said, they needed to get it to within one score before halftime, and
Yep.
they did do that. So
Yeah, and Bob Brickman. One more thing about the Chiefs. Chiefs bad situational football at the end of the game. Remember, they were going to kick a field goal to go up 8, and they dropped the ball and they tried to throw it. And it was just a terrible disaster. It cost them the win. Yeah, because if you make that field goal and you make
Well, it
Tannehill go
changes-
down the whole field
that changes
and get
the
a
whole,
2-point conversion, I mean,
that changes the whole complexion of. I mean, look at the Packers yesterday. I mean, what was it? They had the ball on the 1-yard line on the last second of the game.
the Panthers did. Yes.
The Panthers on the Packers, and the Packers were able to hold them off. I mean,
Look, I know they had the NFC playoff picture up there on Monday Night Football right now, but all due respect to the Niners, who are 8-0, they clearly have a good team, good running attack, good defense. But if I had to pick a team to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl today, on November 11th, it would be the Green Bay Packers.
no, I would still pick the Saints.
They have Rodgers, they have the running game, and their defense, their lines blocking.
I think
The
pass
pass
right now,
rush is as good as it's been in years.
I think those two teams right now are the two best teams in the league, though. Listen, I know the Saints lost to the Falcons yesterday, but this is the NFL. Any
No, I mean,
and
what is
that
it,
is
their
one-
second loss?
yeah, and you know what the other thing
okay.
is that's also
I'm
that's
not,
also
and I'm not
that's
picking.
a rivalry. That's also a big rivalry game, and that can happen.
I mean, I'm not picking the Saints because they lost yesterday. Losses happen. It's fine. That's a pretty fierce rivalry down there in the
those two teams hate each other.
NFC South. So
Yes. So it's
you
gonna
see these
happen.
rivalry games sometimes.
Sometimes it
It
doesn't
can-
work out. Sometimes it just doesn't. I mean, the Falcons do have some talent. It's not like they're not a team that doesn't have players.
I mean,
They're an incredibly
I forget if I picked the Falcons to
they're
go
an
to the playoffs this year.
They're an underachieving team this year.
It's
I
their
don't get it.
defense.
Yeah,
They hired a defensive coach, and Dan Quinn from Seattle, and they haven't really been able to
defense
stop
stinks.
anyone.
No, their defense stinks this year.
Yeah, as a
Except for
Scoopers-
yesterday. But boy, what a big play for the Seattle Seahawks. And that basically turns the whole game around now.
And now they're right back on the field, make another play.
Yeah, no, I mean if they stop them here and get the ball back with 2 minutes to go, I mean,
Ooh.
Ooh.
See, George Kittle. I don't know if that's George Kittle's backup. Yeah, that would be a
George-
That's a tight end play.
yeah,
That's the
George
Yeah, that's
fullback.
a tight end
George
play.
Kittle
Give it
catches
to a
that.
Jerry
fullback.
Ganowski. I mean, George Kittle makes that
Yeah.
play for him.
yeah.
Now it's
that's-
3rd and 9, and you're backed up. Momentum shifted in this football game,
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know
big
what?
time.
And you know what? If they stop them, they get the 2-minute warning.
And they have 3
And they have
timeouts.
3 timeouts and the ball. So I mean, they could tie up the game at halftime, and that would be a mentally deflating situation for the 49ers. Who
Oh, yeah,
really
big
for
time.
the first 25 minutes of this.
I mean, the
ball game,
Seahawks
they-
made the
they owned
play
game.
to get the pick, and then
They
the
gotta take it
Niners
away
took
from 'em.
over.
Yeah.
And now the
Now
Seahawks
here's
kind of
another
weathered
5
the storm.
Here's another 5 yards.
I guess
they're
that's a
gonna
no
lose.
play. So
No,
now
that-
it's going to be 3rd and 14.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I doubt
momentum has
I
shifted.
doubt that they're gonna throw the ball down the field at this point. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if their coach gets conservative or if he tries to go for it. This play.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
I would
err towards the side of
I would err towards
caution,
the side of caution as
just because
well.
you have such a good defense.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
would
can't give Russell Wilson a short field. I mean,
No.
that's suicide.
no, I would say probably a screen pass maybe.
Let's see. Big third down here.
Nope,
Little
no screen
pressure.
pass. No, they're going deep. And did he hang on?
No, he didn't catch
did
it. I thought I saw the ball on the ground.
Yeah, he just the one referee
there we
came in
go.
and said incomplete. So
But hold on, let's see.
what a hit!
1, 2.
Well, he
No.
lost
He
the
lost
ball,
the ball,
Frank.
so
Yeah, I was just watching like
he got the
everything.
feet down. Well,
He got
one
the
guy,
feet
He got
down.
the feet down, but
Yeah.
he didn't hold on to the ball.
Didn't hold on to it.
That's a good
when you
job,
catch-
lowering the
when
boon.
you- When,
Yeah.
when you
Lowering the
catch
boon
the
by that
ball,
guy.
the ground can cause an incompletion.
Yeah.
It can't cause a fumble, but it can cause an incompletion.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
But Brad, big game Sunday, South Philly, Eagles Patriots Super Bowl 52 rematch.
I think
I
you guys could be in a little trouble this week.
Gotta be honest with Eagles Nation here. I don't really see a path to victory, a likely path to victory.
New England has to make some mistakes.
I hate that, which they won't do, off a bye and a loss. The bye accompanied with the loss is just killer. And Tom Brady and Bill Belichick remember what happened in that Super Bowl.
Right, and they got 2 weeks.
They're
to think
petty.
about
They
it.
hold a grudge. They're mad. They don't have 7 rings. They only have 6. They're
Heaven
going to remember
forbid.
that. For the Eagles to win this game, Brad,
They have to play a clean
I
game.
drew up a little – you got to play a clean game. I drew a little blueprint
They
up.
also need to run the ball. They also need to run for at least 120 yards.
Yeah,
They have to run the ball, keep the ball
with
out of
Jordan Howard.
right, and to try and they have to control the clock. That's going to be.
I
That's
don't know
gonna
where
be
my
key.
phone went. Oh, here
No.
it is.
You found it.
Found it.
That's going to be the key. They've got to control the
You
clock.
got to play a clean game.
Yeah.
No mistakes. You need to score touchdowns in the red zone, and you can't call plays in the red zone like a dope.
Yes.
Number 2,
You
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz has got to be careful.
Carson
with the
Wentz.
ball.
No, see, this is where I don't agree with you. If Carson makes mistakes on Sunday, it better be because he's being aggressive and trying to go down the field.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about fumbling the ball or making bad decisions.
He's not going to do that.
Okay. Well, that's
The only thing that hinders Carson is the coaching staff and Doug Peterson because they, for whatever reason, this coaching staff can't seem to get in sync with a blue chip franchise quarterback. It's just baffling to me.
Well, part of the problem right now is that other than Zach Ertz, these guys seem to have hands of stone.
Well, the receivers are horrible.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
I haven't seen an injury report on Alshon Jeffrey, but he can't be any worse if he does actually suit up than he was against the Bears. But, this has got to be a Carson game.
Yeah,
This has got to be a
Ertz-
Carson game.
Ertz has to have a huge game.
I don't care if Arcega-Whiteside and Aguilar and Matt Collins are your receivers. You got to show me you're a franchise quarterback and got to pull one out of the fire for me.
Rob, they've got to be able to run
This
the
has
ball.
got to be. This is setting up for a good return here by Tyler Lockett. That's a good return.
Yeah, they're almost in field goal range
Yep.
to start. So Seattle is in a position where they should be able to at least tie this game up by halftime, and that would be big for them.
And then-
I think they get the ball to start the second half. No,
They do.
because San Francisco
Forget.
got the opening
Yep.
kickoff.
I forget.
Yeah, they got the opening kickoff.
And then
got
number
the
Hey,
three-
it's George.
Number 3
Number
3 in terms of the Eagles winning Sunday, got to get pressure on Brady. Brandon
Oh,
Graham,
absolutely.
Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, whoever wants to step in and play next to Fletcher Cox. I'm not even sure who it is right now. You got to get pressure on Brady.
Yeah, and you've got to try to control Edelman and not let him just
Yeah, Maddox going to be
kill the game. I mean, that's something.
yeah,
that,
Maddox going to be a big factor in Sunday's game. Big factor, and Jenkins and the safeties.
The thing that scares me, if
because
I'm an Eagle
I'm not,
fan,
I'm fine with Mills on Sanu.
yeah, the thing that scares me about this game is that the Eagle secondary has been a problem this season, and the Patriots with the short passing game, or I mean that kind of is a situation that could really hurt the Eagles. I mean, they're
As long as Sidney Jones is nowhere near the football field, I'm somewhat comfortable with this secondary.
well.
Somewhat.
If somebody
I'm
is
confident I'm confident Mills can cover Sanu. I don't even know who their other outside receiver is.
White,
James White. I mean, he's a running back, but I mean, he's going to be a
he
problem
lines
out
up
of
a
the
lot
backfield.
there. Hogan,
He does. Hogan. You got those guys, and I think
Edelman?
that Darby can be.
Watson. I
Well,
mean, they got
Edelman's-
guys. They got
Edelman's-
guys that can. They
I mean,
got guys
Edelman's
that
a
can-
slot guy.
Yeah, but he's still part of the secondary. I mean, he's still going to cause problems for the secondary. Is that a
Did he
touchdown
lose
or
the
are
ball? Niners have the
fumble?
ball.
Is that a fumble?
The Niners have the ball.
Did the ground cause the fumble?
I think he got ripped
Let's
out.
see.
I was
Huh.
wrong about this guy, DK Metcalf. I thought his lateral quickness or lack thereof was
Oh,
really going to.
Let's see.
I
Was
think
really
he
gonna
snatched it. Oh, of course. Cut right before the moment happened. Great.
Well,
Well,
'cause
they're
they're
gonna
going to run
sit-
the play. They're going to look at it.
Bob Branken, will the Ravens hold up in the AFC? Yeah, I would
Yes.
consider them the favorites in the AFC at this point.
Well, I don't know. I'd say the co-favorites.
To New England? Well, I mean, they just beat the Patriots. So, were you thinking somebody else?
Well, it would be them or the Patriots. I think that's a strip and that's a fumble. Or did he get in the end zone first?
I think.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going
The odds that they get all the aspects of that
Yeah.
play right are slim
He
to
may have
none.
been in the end zone before they ripped the ball. They may have ripped the ball out after he crossed the goal line too. That could be it too. Oh, we'll see.
But so the three keys to victory when it comes to the Eagles and the Patriots on Sunday, Carson, gotta be money. Gotta be sharp. I don't care if they're double, triple teaming Zach Ertz. You gotta find a way to be money. You gotta win me this football game with less talent.
Have a good running game.
Clean game, no mistakes, no penalties,
Have time of possession advantage.
run the ball,
A lot.
and then pressure on Brady. You do those things,
You have a
it's
shot.
not even a guarantee that you win. Well, I think the Eagles are in real trouble. I think they're in real trouble this week.
The Patriots,
I hate that the Patriots,
the Patriots
lost.
just have such a good defense.
Not
That's
only did the Patriots lose against the Ravens,
they got shellacked.
they got stomped.
Yeah.
You think Belichick gave those players a week off?
Well, he had to give him 3 because that's in the CBA. But after
Yeah, but
that,
he probably pressured them though, like the voluntary
yeah. Well, the
voluntary
the
involuntary workouts.
the nasty text message.
I'll tell you who was in. I'll tell you who was in the building. Was Brady.
Oh yeah.
Belichick was in the building. He didn't take no 3 days off.
No, Edelman was probably in the building.
Edelman was in the building.
Absolutely. White was in the building. Hogan was in the building. All the guys that have been there a long time.
Anyone who wants to stay in Tom Brady's good graces,
Yeah.
was
and
in the building.
and on the defense, I'm sure their top defensive players were there. Gilmore was probably there. McCourty was probably there. I mean,
McCourty was definitely there.
they're
Let's take a look at this replay right here. He's still in
he
bounds.
was out of bounds. I
No,
think
he's out.
he was out of bounds at the.
Was he out?
Looked like he was out of the 8-yard line. Now, when did they take the ball away from him?
Oh, the ball is.
Oh, the ball. He had the ball at the 1-yard line.
But like, when does he lose it out of his? You think he's out of bounds there?
Right there. Right there. It looked like his foot may have touched the line.
I don't know about that. Now, what did they call on the field? Seattle ball at the 1?
I don't know.
That's like the only situation where it can't be Seattle ball at the 1.
No.
It's either got to be OB back at the 7, or it's got to be Niners ball going the other way. Of any scenario, I don't see how it can feasibly be Seattle's ball at the 1. It makes no sense. We have a big weekend in college football. Alabama.
I'll tell you what. This past
Alabama.
weekend.
How about Joe Burrows? Joe Burrow. Is it
Joe Burrow is great.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
There's no S or there is an
no
S?
S.
No S.
No
Joe
S.
Burrow. Not
He
only
is.
to win the Heisman, he solidified his top
top 3
selection. No, he's the top pick in the draft.
You think he's going to get picked?
Yeah,
over
he's going to
Tua?
pick by the Bengals.
You
I would
think?
pick him over. I would pick him over Tua.
What about Herbert?
Yeah. Look, he can move. He's a winner. He's an athlete.
I think he's tremendous.
He's just awesome. Nancy Brinkman, Jordan Matthews, will he help the offense? Carson confident enough to throw to him. Not sure if Matthews even playing. Yeah, Matthews is going to play because the receiving core is just that bad. Whether he makes an impact or not is going to be up to Jordan Matthews. I think he's going to have plays called for him. I think that he's going to have opportunity. Whether he gets open, whether he decides to catch the ball, whether he gains Carson's trust in a game situation. See, that's brutal.
That's a great play by the defense.
That's brutal.
Holy
if you're
smokes.
if you're Seahawks, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
But yeah, Jordan Matthews. I mean, Jordan Matthews needs
Look
to
at
see.
how they gang tackled him.
He's got to hold the ball though.
Yeah, I agree. And that's like what happened.
What do
with
you
the
do
Giant
here?
Jet
Are
game
you
yesterday.
cautious here, or what do you try and do?
Just not get a safety.
Like,
Well, now that they don't have to worry about a safety, they're not gonna
Yeah.
they're not gonna risk it. They're gonna try to run out
do
the
you
clock.
use
with the running
timeouts if
game.
you're Seattle?
You might.
You could get a 10-10.
Yep, Seattle's
That
gonna
Myers
take a
guy,
timeout.
decent enough kicker.
Yep. Oh, Seattle's definitely gonna try to stop the clock and try
But
to get at least get the field goal.
Anyway, Joe Burrow, LSU,
Joe
by far
Burrow
the best
looks
team.
sensational.
Oh yeah.
First off, LSU should have been first in the first version of
Oh
the
yeah.
college
Absolutely,
football
I agree with
rankings.
that.
Ohio State beats nobody.
Yeah.
They beat nobody. And I get it, eye
It
test.
was much the best.
Much the best?
Much the best. That's a horse racing term.
Okay. But eye test is a tiebreaker after you go through who you beat and where you beat them. Ohio State's beat nobody. Alabama's beat nobody. I know that's blasphemous to say. What was that, pass?
Mm-hmm. Alabama is going to have to beat Auburn, by the way.
They're going to have to beat Auburn. But, Alabama's not my top 4. You can't not schedule up, not beat anybody, and lose your biggest game and still be in the top 4. Sorry. LSU, Ohio State, Clemson will jump back in to the top 4. I know there was a tiny bit of perplexity that they weren't in the top.
LSU, Ohio State, Clemson.
I would
and-
have Georgia number 4.
Didn't Georgia have a bad loss?
They
though?
they have a bad loss to South Carolina, yes, to an average team. They're going to play
Well,
Auburn.
Alabama-
They're going to play Auburn this week.
Alabama is
beat-
going to be number 4
They
then.
beat Notre Dame.
Yeah. And Notre Dame also got their rear ends handed to
Okay,
them.
but Notre Dame is a top 15 team.
Okay, that's true. You're right.
I know
I do think
it's a
though.
polarizing
I-
situation with Notre Dame. Either you love them or you hate them.
I think Alabama at this point.
Okay, but let me ask you this: at what point is it about resume over who you think would win?
It should be the resume.
It should be the 4 best resumes in the
Yeah,
college football playoff.
I agree. I mean, look, Alabama is. If Alabama loses to Auburn,
But even if Alabama beats Auburn, which I think that they will,
they probably will.
7th in the AP poll.
They could move up as high as 5th.
But see, the problem is they played 3 narrow games in their non-conference against bad teams.
Okay, but if they,
I'm just saying.
if they
I'm
win,
just saying.
if
the
they
stacks.
if
the
they beat
stacks,
Ohio State,
I don't think they have to play.
in
They
the
would.
championship game,
Yes, their tests are still to come
Yeah.
because they still have to play Wisconsin and Iowa.
I don't think they're going to win both those games.
I tell you what, I'm rooting for them to win both those games.
I am too, but I mean,
I'm just saying.
looked.
It's going to be hard for
Are
them.
they going to be? Are they home for those 2 games, or are they on the road?
Oh, a lot going on. Frank, Minnesota schedule, the Gophers
Yes.
schedule, please.
Give me one moment. I had to take care of something really quick.
Okay, so Minnesota. That's fine. Take your
a
time.
little technical difficulty.
Take your time.
Over on
You're
the
good, you're
YouTube,
good.
but we are back up and running
So,
on YouTube. So
The
sorry,
coaches
YouTube.
poll. The coaches poll has Minnesota 7th.
Okay.
Behind, they have Oregon 6th. That's a really good team.
All right, I got
Oregon.
the schedule up.
That's a really good team. Oregon. Georgia's 5th. Alabama's 4th.
Can't
Clemson,
argue with
Ohio
any of
State,
that.
LSU. I would flip Georgia and Georgia and Alabama based on schedule. But I mean, I've been told I'm an idiot all weekend on Facebook for thinking that.
No, you're not an idiot for
They
thinking
shouldn't
that.
be 6th or 7th. 5th should be the lowest.
They have
should go.
they have a much tougher schedule. You're absolutely right.
But just play somebody, Bama. Play somebody.
Well, they're gonna have to.
All Bama has to do is pick up the damn phone to whoever, and they would come. They would play wherever.
Play Oklahoma. Play
Play-
Clemson.
in Cherry World.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Be men and play a real tough game.
Penn State plummets to 11th in the AP poll.
Well, they got that game
behind
wasn't
Baylor
as close as
and
the score.
Utah, which I don't agree with at all.
Well, they shouldn't be behind Utah. Come on. They're
Utah's a
better than
good team.
I know, but they're better than Utah. I don't know about Baylor. Baylor's pretty good, but well, whatever. That's they beat them up a little too
And
hard.
then they have Auburn and Florida behind Penn State. That's the coaches poll. I agree with the coaches poll more than I just lost it.
I would assume LSU is number one in both polls.
That's correct.
Okay. Frank, what's Minnesota's schedule look like?
All right, so Minnesota will be going to Iowa, number 23 Iowa on Saturday. Then next
I hope they don't
Iowa-
have a letdown.
In Iowa, right?
in Iowa City. Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
Then the following week they will go to Evanston to take on a very, 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 very bad Northwestern team.
They're
They'll
horrible.
slaughter Northwestern.
Absolutely
They're
awful.
horrible.
Yeah, they'll slaughter Northwestern.
And then on the 30th, the number 15 Badgers go over to TCF Bank Stadium to wrap
And then
up
they're either going to have a rematch.
or a possible Big Ten title game. So,
They're going to either get a rematch. They're going to get the Big Ten title game.
yeah.
Whether they're undefeated when they get there or not, I'm not
Right.
sure. We'll see.
I mean,
But then
Iowa.
they're going to play Ohio State or Penn State, I
Yeah.
guess. Ohio State's not losing to Michigan.
Right.
No. Although Michigan did smoke Notre Dame.
Yeah, but I mean, Michigan had to get one of those games
Yeah,
against a top 10 team.
I understand. There's that goddamn cat that ruined the Giants.
That darn
That's
cat.
what did it. The cat.
The cat.
Yeah, it's the cat's fault.
Not Gettleman, not Shermer.
But
not,
here's
no,
my
it's the
thing with
cat.
this Saturday's matchup. Iowa is known to be very pesky with highly ranked teams, especially
they almost beat Penn State.
They almost beat Penn State. And when you go back a couple of years back when Penn State was making a run for
Yeah,
a BCS bowl bid,
McSorley beat him at the buzzer.
yeah, or they get beaten in the last second, and Iowa would pull off the unexpected upset. But that's going to be another interesting game. I want to take a look at the lines for that, but
Yeah, well, let's go over it.
I could see an Iowa upset in this one.
Yeah,
but
because,
it's gonna be a fun one.
I mean, you're going on the road to Iowa, which is tough. Is that
Yeah.
what time is that game?
That will be a 4:00 game,
All right, so not a night game. But
not a night game.
it's kind of a
That'll be a
night.
hell of-
Kind of a night
Yeah,
game because it gets
it'll
dark.
be
at
dark
fucking
soon.
4:30 now, which I hate.
Yeah. Well, it gets a little dark a little later.
All right, let's look at these.
in the Midwest.
Let's look at these matchups.
Yeah.
Early leans brought to you by ATS Sports Picks, ATSSportsPicks.com. Yeah, ATSSportsPicks.com. Use promo code A2D for 20% off. Let's start in college because you got Minnesota and Iowa. You have Georgia and Auburn.
Yes.
I like Iowa in that game.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad.
I think
That
Iowa will
strikes
be-
me as a sharp play. Once my thing loads
I
here,
think
we'll
I think
see the
Iowa.
lines.
My prediction would be that Iowa would be,
I
would be
actually-
like
I
a
actually got the
3-point
lines up.
underdog. I
You
would
got the lines?
I do have the lines. Yep.
What's the line?
All right. Georgia is favored by 3. Over/under is at 44.
Yeah, I like Georgia a lot there. A
Yeah.
lot.
Who's Georgia playing?
Auburn.
Yeah, I like Georgia.
Where's that game?
It is
The
at.
Georgia Dome?
No, it's got to be on campus, right?
It's at Jordan Hare in Auburn.
Okay. Oh, it's in Auburn. Okay.
Yeah.
Auburn's a home dog.
Yes.
I still love Georgia, especially with that over/under being low. Georgia's defense is a real deal, and they can run the ball.
And when
And-
Fromm has a good game, Fromm's good.
And then what
Auburn's
about the
good, though.
Minnesota? What about the Minnesota line?
Minnesota, we got Iowa is favored by 3
Wow.
Oh,
with the
okay.
over/under at 44.5.
I like Iowa.
Wow. That's disrespect.
Yeah, I like Iowa.
I'm rooting for Minnesota. I'll pick Minnesota. I'll take the 3. PJ Fleck, great coach. Great coach. Let's see. Are we missing any big matchups here in college?
Let me see. Oklahoma and Baylor.
Mm.
Primetime game. Oklahoma favored by 10 with the over/under at 67.5.
Where's
the
the
game?
game? Yep. It's in Norman, I think.
It is in Waco. They will go to Baylor.
I think Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma should. I think Oklahoma will beat them up. It won't be a slaughter, but they'll win.
Yeah.
They'll win. They'll win. They'll score enough points, like 44-34 or something like that.
Lincoln Riley, he's a great coach. He'll be coaching on Sunday soon.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
Hopefully the
Matt
blue and
Rule,
white.
Matt Rule might be coaching on Sundays soon too if he keeps going the way he's going.
The only other notable at least between 2 top 25 teams, is Clemson against Wake Forest, but Clemson is
Clemson's gonna
projected
smoke
Yeah,
them.
Clemson's
with
gonna
a
win.
33% favorite.
33.
33-point favorite against
Yeah,
the
they'll
Demon Deacons.
destroy
Yeah.
them.
The fact that Wake Forest is ranked
Clemson
is
doesn't beat anybody.
surprising.
Doesn't play anybody
Yeah.
either. By the way, just to make something clear,
get it.
Their schedule is just
I
as
get
weak
it.
as Auburn,
And I hate it.
I mean, just as weak as Alabama, and just as weak as Ohio. As a matter of
I
fact,
mean,
Ohio
Clemson-
State has a harder
I mean,
schedule.
Clemson tried
than
to
them.
Clemson tried to schedule Texas A&M, who was supposed to be a power, but didn't really work out like that. They schedule these games 3 years in advance.
Yeah, no, I know. But how about scheduling like Ohio State against one of these
Someone
teams?
who, especially when you're established as Clemson,
Right. I mean, you can afford a loss.
because Penn State, I think they're having a home and home with Auburn in 20 and 21 and 22. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's what they should do.
Like not Texas A&M, like who, they
It's
might
good on the bubble.
have a good season, like jump up in the playoff contention, like every couple of years, might be good, might fall apart. No one knows. All right, let's
Right.
move to pro football. Obviously, these are early leans, are way too early preview of next weekend's college football games. Do you have the pro lines there, Frank, or no?
I do not have the pro lines, so
10-7.
now I do.
All right, run through the games, Frank.
All right, Thursday night football. The Steelers go to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns favored by 2.5.
The Browns are favored in a football game.
I'll take the Steelers.
They actually won a game against the Bills. No,
Yes,
They did.
they did.
a winning streak in Cleveland. Could it be?
No.
Look, I pick against the Steelers every week, and Minka Fitzpatrick's probably going to score another touchdown, and the Steelers are going to win. Steelers are a playoff team right now. If it ended today, be the 6th seed in the AFC.
Somehow, some way, they always manage to.
Magic.
Yeah, they always manage to get there.
So I guess that Mike Tomlin can't coach anymore bullshit is just out
What
the
it
window.
is.
Out the window.
I guess he can coach a little bit better than everybody thinks.
Yeah. And Minka Fitzpatrick, talk about a trade that saves your season. Scores a touchdown every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like the Steelers there. All right, what's next, Frank?
For the 1 o'clock games, we got Bills at Dolphins. Bills favored by 6.
Give me the Fins. I'll take the 6. I don't think the Bills are that good. And
Bills can't score.
the Dolphins.
Dolphins are playing better.
The Dolphins blow, but they play for that guy, Flores.
Yeah, they're playing better. I mean, they've won 2 in a row.
Yeah. I'll take the Finns there plus the 6.
All right. The Texans go to Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 4.5.
I'll take the
that's a
Texans in
good
the
game.
4.5. I think they'll keep it close.
Yeah, I'll take Lamar. I'll take the Ravens. I'll lay it.
I'll take
Baltimore. I'll lay it.
I'll take the Texans in the points.
I mean, if they want to be the number 1 seed and not have to go to Foxborough,
That's true.
they got to win this game.
Yeah, that's true. They probably will. I don't know that they're going to blow them out,
True.
though.
Yeah, you're getting 4.5.
Well, the one thing, though, with the Texans, though, keep in mind, they practice against Deshaun Watson, so they'll know how to defend them.
Valid point.
That's
Valid
that's
point.
why I think it's going to be a close game.
All right, Frank.
We got the New Orleans Saints on the road to the Bucks.
The Saints are
Saints
gonna
favored
crush
by
them.
6.
They're going to crush them after they lost
So the
that game.
Bucks are
last-
home dogs, huh?
Yep.
The Bucks are going to get smashed. Listen,
I'll take the Bucks. I'll take the Bucks plus 6.
The Saints just lost to the Falcons. There's no way they are losing 2 in a row, especially when it comes to the Bucks.
I should tell you, I can't pick anything when it comes to these pro football games.
They are unpredictable.
I'm well below the Mendoza line. I have no idea what's going on. So we're gonna throw out some goofy early leans here. I'll take the home dog Buccaneers plus the 6.
Yeah, I'll lay the lumber.
All right. The Jacksonville Jaguars
Nick Foles, baby, he's back.
Go to the Colts. Colts favored by 3.
I'll take
Well,
the Colts.
geez, it's really too early to talk about this game. Who's
Who's
quarterbacking?
quarterbacking? The Colts.
If Hoyer's quarterbacking, I'm taking the Jaguars.
It's probably going to be Brian Hoyer.
Then I'm
I'll have
taking
a
the
guess.
Jags.
Maybe
I'm
the
taking
Jags.
Foles anyway.
Yeah, I take the Jags and the points.
All
Did
right.
you see that one run, Brad, where it was off tackle, but he bounced it out?
Yeah, well, that's the
That's
way
how
to
you
go
run in this
outside.
league, to the outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not tosses, not
no, you
sweeps.
bounce it. You bounce it outside.
All right, my bad, friend. What do we got?
All right. The next game, the Jets at the Washington Redskins.
Redskins.
Redskins favored by 1.
I'll take the Jets.
I'll take the Redskins.
I'll take the Jets.
All right.
Better quarterback, better coach.
Better
As-
coach.
As crazy as
He's the
that
worst
is.
coach. He's the worst coach in the NFL next to Shermer.
The
Yeah,
Falcons.
but Bill Callahan, not even a real coach. Like, he's the interim coach.
Yeah, that's well. But Gates is certifiably retarded. So
What's next?
The Falcons go to Carolina.
Carolina's going to smoke 'em.
What's the line?
5.5 for Carolina.
I'll take the point.
I'll take Carolina. I'll lay the lumber. Carolina's going to kill them.
I'll
The
take.
Saints had their.
I'll take the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons had the Falcons had their day in the sun. It's time for them to go back to normal. It's in Carolina, right?
It is in Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina lost that heartbreaker last night to the Packers.
I'm George Costanza in it right now. The opposite. I'm going with the opposite.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going with the Falcons.
Okay.
my. All right. Then the Cardinals travel to the Field of Genes to take on the 49ers. Niners favored by 13.5.
I'll take the 13.5.
Sorry, who are they playing?
The Niners. The
Against?
Cardinals.
Yeah, man, I like Kyler Murray.
I'll take the 13.5. They'll give them a battle.
You got to throw it, Russ. That's
Oh.
unbelievable.
What a hit.
That's unbelievable. Is that a catch?
yeah, that's
That's
a
a
catch.
catch.
I
How
thought
does
it
he
was-
have that patience against such a ferocious front to hang
I
in
thought
there
he was- I thought
and
he was
deliver that ball?
I thought he
He's
was throwing it
unbelievable.
away.
I changed my MVP pick to Russell Wilson.
You know what? I thought he was just throwing that ball away. I mean,
Yeah.
when he went back again, I was like, he's just going to throw it away.
He throws guy. He's unbelievable. Unreal. All right, what do we got next, Frank?
The Pats
did he
go
get
to
hit.
the Eagles. The Pats are favored by 3.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots.
Patriots.
All right, the next 4:25 game, we have the Bungles going to Oakland to take on the Raiders. Raiders
Raiders
favored
win
by
again.
10.5.
How many?
10.5 for the Raiders.
Wouldn't it be typical of the Raiders, though, to go lose that game?
This will show. This will show us.
I mean,
This will show us a lot about this Raiders team.
but it would be so typical of the Raiders to lose this game. Because
In years past, yes, but I'm going to give the Raiders a chance. I'll lay
All right.
the 10.5 just because in my mind it seems like too much, and this would be a Rob kind of try and be the smartest
Yep.
guy in the room pick, and pick the Bengals plus the 10.5. But no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna take
I'm gonna
the
against you
Gru
on-
Dog and Josh Jacobs and the Raiders.
Yeah,
But Derek Carr's playing well too.
I'm gonna go. Did they fumble again? Did Seattle just fumble again? You fumbled again, didn't you? Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, he fumbled again.
Who is that? Carson?
Yep.
No, that's the other
Oh.
guy. Penny.
Penny. Oh boy.
Penny.
What's
Oh boy. Wow.
Penny.
Okay, I would take.
What's next?
I would take the Bengals in that game.
All right.
Because
Okay.
to me, Oakland is still Oakland, and they will turn a chicken salad into chicken shit like they've been doing for the last 20 years.
The Bears. Mitchie Poo goes to Hollywood to take on Jared and the Rams.
I have to watch this.
Rams favored by 6.5.
6.5.
I'll take the Rams because the Bears won't score.
That's. Yeah, but the Rams haven't been scoring a lot to be spotting 6.5 though.
Rams have been pretty dreadful
Offensively,
with
they've
that
been bad.
Sean McVay, Jared Goff, brain trust.
Yeah, their offense.
They went to
just
the
hasn't
Super
been
Bowl
good
last
enough.
year.
I'm going to take the Bears and the points.
And the last game over in Mexico City, the Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs favored by 3.5.
The Chiefs own the Chargers. Oh no, they lost that game last year in Kansas City at the end of the year.
Yes, they did.
Forgot about that game.
I don't know. The Chargers, they just find a way to lose games.
I'd still go with the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are losing 2 in a row.
No, I like the Chiefs as well. The Chargers, they just
They find a way to lose.
Find a way to lose.
Yeah, every time.
It's brutal. All right, that'll do it. This edition of the Sports Hounds. Have a great week in sports. We'll be back next Monday, A2D Radio, A2D Live, 8 to 10 p.m.
See
Have
ya.
a nice week.